Is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, class swing traders. Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Hope you guys had a good first day of the month as we find ourselves early in the month with another strange day ahead of us. So today should be in a worst case, an interesting day, but I think it should be a relatively fun day as well. Let me see if I can get my screen up here for Trading View, which, by the way, guys, if you guys either don't have Trading View and considering getting it, if you have Trading View and want to upgrade or renew what you currently have and also try to save a little money, they usually do have Black Friday deals. So check out Trading View. That's typically the time I cover it. That's when I just pay the annual subscription and usually get it for a better deal. So I know sometimes we get questions like, hey, is there discount codes or anything like that? Not to my knowledge. Honestly, I don't really, once I have it, I don't really pay attention to the current pricing or anything like that. But to my knowledge, they don't have any type of discount code. But if you want like the real-time data, you want the access to go back and back trade, which is extremely important to trading, and you want to go on longer time frames or do 5-minute charts, things like that, just keep in mind that will be coming up soon. As far as Black Friday goes, I usually run it, but I know a little off topic. Woodshed's in the house. We got Albert, we got Chad, Matt R's in the house. Good morning, Lucian. We got Natalie with us, Tony, Jenny, Joe, Tanya, we got Jay in the house. We got all my peeps on YouTube land. Woo! Jordan is here. Liza's in the house. Now it's a party. All right, Maloney is joining us. Hold on. Let's give like 12 seconds of silence. We got to get Maloney set up. Just got to stretch before. All right, we're good now. All right. Let's see what. So today is going to be 2 different days built into one. Today is going to be Kyle. Good morning, Kyle. We got Rex. We got local missions and YouTube. Now we can start. Today's going to be like 2 days built into one, right? We're going to have the everything before 2 p.m. before we get the Fed, and then we're going to have an entirely different market after 2 p.m. So be aware of that. I don't know what happens, how much volatility we get early in the morning. If we see a trade, we will definitely take one. There's some interesting things out there. Again, how they play out, that's a whole different story. I don't know. But after 2 p.m., that's when the Fed comes in. That's when the fireworks come in. It's going to get very crazy, very fast. Things are going to move in directions that you think they don't make sense. But I do think after today, we will have some kind of direction in the market until, they're not giving us much time here, but until November 8th, which is 6 days away. That's the election day. And again, I don't think the election day itself is going to be that big of a deal. I think maybe after the election is complete, so November 9th or whoever's looks like they're leading or winning the polls, I think that might have some play. Nothing like the volatility that we get today, I think, but that will also give us just a little bit more information as far as how we can interpret going forward what policies are going to be, as opposed to just so much uncertainty so far. And if we get at least something crossed off the list, that would give, I think, a little bit more confidence and maybe push further continue the direction that I think gets established today. So we will see. We do have a lot of the bigger earnings out of the way, so that's covered. This is kind of like the last piece of the puzzle, and then we don't have too much until probably some CPI reports and things like that, but really nothing until the new year. So we'll see, and then hopefully we can just kind of trend out a little bit, get out of this little chop zone. Understand, are we going lower or are we throwing in the bottom for the year? So I think a lot will be established today. So just be very careful. I think I'm under the camp that I think most people are expecting the 75-point basis hike. So I think that should be given. Maybe comes in with a 50, maybe he goes crazy, he does a full point. I don't think so. I think more than likely people are expecting the 75-point basis hike, and I think we probably get that. So I would say that would be expected from the market, maybe already built in. The part of the Fed that's going to, and we'll see a move off of the 75-point basis hike, but I think the part that will be more important is going to be the Jerome Powell conference today. I think people could be watching that very, very closely. Some reports out there saying that after, or assuming that he comes out with a 75-point basis hike today, the next rate hike will probably be about a 50-point basis hike. And then maybe we start to push to a 25. And more or less that Jerome Powell is not so interested anymore in giving the bigger rate hikes, just being able to extend it over longer periods of time at this point, which to some extent will give some optimism to the markets that we, again, get a little bit more consistency. We start to understand where the Fed's trying to get to. And some people are thinking the terminal rate will be somewhere about 5%, could be a little higher, 5.25, something in that zone. But at least we have some kind of end goal, which the markets would like a lot. I also think at the very same time, that alone will probably push the market bullish. But again, I don't think Jerome Powell really wants stocks to go up at this point, because that will make things a little bit more complicated. That puts more liquidity into the markets. That makes his job a little bit tougher, or at least the task of bringing down inflation. So I would be thinking that Jerome Powell, even if that is the plan, how he answers the questions, I think is going to be, I would think, leaning a little bit more hawkish than dovish on the answers. And again, that's going to cause probably a little bit of confusion, I think, today. I think he wants to come out and go. I think he has to go a little bit more hawkish as far as his answers go, just because that will help keep stocks down while they're able to continue just to raise the hike, attempt to bring inflation down. So we have, it's going to be an interesting day. I would think probably a lot of the basis point hike, all that's baked in. And I would say, yeah, we probably run bullish from that, as long as it's staying par to, I think, what most people are expecting. But how he answers the questions, how hawkish he wants to go with his answers, again, I still think the plan's the same. So I think overall we might still continue to rally, but his answer is going to be very, very important. And I think we'll see a lot of movement after the actual numbers get released as well. Yep. Albert says election days are in a few days. Yeah. What do we got? 6 more days, something like that. 6 more days until I never get to see a political ad for 2 years. No, they'll pretty much start up the next ones right away. Who am I kidding? If you're a politician, your entire job is to continue to be a politician. That's it. So just keep on running those ads. Yep. So that's what I'm thinking. But again, we'll see how the day plays out, right? We'll see how the Fed comes out. We'll see if there is any surprises built in. Right now, if we're looking at just on a technical basis, Woodshed said to 365-ish. Woodshed sharing a chart. Okay. The arrows gave me whips already. So you say down, then up, and then but down, and then up and down. Overall, that trend is down. Yeah. So you're looking for, so the one thing about this, obviously, it hasn't quite broke that trend line yet. Maybe in pre-market. Yeah, pre-market we did. Okay. So I'll see where you're coming from. So pre-market, we broke. You're looking for some kind of a retest. Yeah, I would say a little bit of a retest. So what I'm looking for here is, number one, this is now and for anybody that has done any of the mentorship groups that I'm teaching or one-on-one coaching or anything like that, you guys know the VPOC, as soon as it makes 3, now we got that trend line down, right? So we have already shifted. Does that mean we can't close the day up here with a VPOC? Does it mean, no, it doesn't mean any of that. but we are definitely on some kind of pullback. I would be looking for some kind of continuation. Again, we do have three. The thing that makes this a little tricky is we also have VPOC right here. So that's somewhere at 380, 377. We got another one down here, 382.22, another one, 380.67. So we have some areas of support that will be in this area. That's going to make it a little bit on the tricky side. Obviously, if we're just looking at candles, this is a 78-minute chart. This is a big monster bear candle, right? Or at least bearish engulfing candle, right? It kind of closed at about a 50% retrace from the start of that move, though, right? So kind of in no man's land for the most part. So let's do a quick fib. We'll go from the highs to the low of this move. That takes us sitting at roughly the 50%. The 618 is going to take us down to, I can't even see that number, but what is that? 383.61. So that was a bounce off of that. We're in between the 50 and the 618 from this entire move, right? So I don't know. If we do start breaking the low from yesterday, that would also put us below that the 618. I would expect for us to drop a decent amount further from there, and maybe that this is some kind of a more or less double top, probably a wave 5. This was the ABC, and then this could start that new leg down, like Woodshed's predicting. So I'm with you. I think we did run at this point, and you guys all know I went really bullish. Down here, I was like, yeah, I don't know. That looks like some serious capitulation on the market on that crazy CPI day. And then we closed up. We opened the day 5% lower. We closed the day 1% higher. Just absolutely bizarre day. I mean, that's history right there. That was only happened once it only happened 5 times in the last ever since the market was created. But then we did get already a solid push within not that long of a time. We were looking at 390 as some kind of a spot. We did open up on potentially fake news from China yesterday, which was causing the gap. How do we get this little line off? So we had some news come out that China was having some committees put together based on trying to, I guess, reopen the economy more or less and try to get people back out in the workforce from COVID. So later in the day, China came out and said, no, that's not true. But I've got some theories on why they took so long to correct that. We'll get into that later. But this is I'm not loving this open. We're still obviously not below this candle as far as the wick goes. But any of the bulls, as far as where that candle opened, and we're definitely opening slightly below or right at the very, very low of this long candle. So this could be some kind of a bear flag, and we do crush lower. I kind of have a little bit bearish sentiment, at least for part 1 of this day, which is going to take us into the Jerome Powell Wild Wild West. Ernesto, good morning. We got Gabriel says not serious, but low key serious. What do you think of the relationship between the Phillies winning the World Series and recession? Well, first of all, people say that the Phillies, I mean, we'll answer this one. We'll tackle this one. So I think the Phillies, number one, they won in 2009 was the last time they won. 2008 was a housing crash. So I would say they were more or less on the tail end. And I would say that's more positive for the market. I know people going, Phillies are, if the Phillies win, that means we're going into a recession. I would argue we're already in a recession. So again, I don't know how much weight it holds, but most of the people, it depends if you're a Phillies fan or not, realistically. If you're a Phillies fan, you're looking at this thing and going, okay, no, they win on the tail end of the recession. But if you're not a Phillies fan, if you're a Phillies hater, you're going to say, no, they caused the recession. So it just depends. It just depends. But they did look good last night. They looked pretty solid. Two games to 1. Okay. And I'm a Yankees fan, but I do live in Philly. So I've already greased up all the trees outside of my house, all the poles, in case anybody wants to climb them. Good luck. All right, we got Tesla. So here's a gap down. This one on a 78-minute chart. We do have Hector says what? You have to really pay attention to Phillies sports. After the Eagles won the Super Bowl, everyone was climbing all the street poles and all that stuff. So the the city actually went out and greased up all the light poles and everything in Philly, just so, just so. I don't even. They're not rioters because they're not angry about nothing. But I guess what are they? Cheers. We'll just call them the fans, I guess. Don't climb all the street poles. Tesla. So this one I would expect a little bit of a retest first. Watch out for that 227.81 zone. That's where I would expect that retest. But we have some kind of support 225.58, and then we do have some kind of resistance, probably about 229. Almost dead smack in the middle of this. If we do start to break down these levels, which I don't know if I expect to, 225 has just been a beast. It's been an absolutely beast. This blue line is a longer term uptrend that we had. And this is now the third attempt of trying to break it. Yesterday looks pretty good on the potential to do so. And we were calling 238. It hit 237 and change. So we were close. But yeah, this thing probably again, a little bit to the weaker side, but I would expect some kind of a retest first. For right now, it would qualify. We do get the ability to trade it. I kind of want to trade it more to the bearish side than the bullish side, but that's just me. I'll go either way with it. And if I go bearish, I want that retest first. If I go bullish, it better be around probably 225. That would be my attempted spot. Yeah, the Yankees won in 09. I don't know. When was the Phillies win up? Was that 2008? I don't know. Philly fans a while. Philly, yeah. The Astros are in Philly. They're trying to get like cheesesteaks and food and stuff, and nobody's serving them. I'm like, you guys take this thing too seriously. Too seriously. All right. AMD. Uh-oh. What just happened? Maloney says, question is it okay to grease your trees if you don't live in Philly? Sounds so fun. That sounds like a whole different topic for a whole different group. I can't I can't get into that information, but that sounds weird when you say it like that, to be honest. It sounds a little sus. I don't know what you guys do over there, but to grease a tree for no reason, that's a little different. To grease it for a reason is still strange, not gonna lie. All right. I do like this gap. So the earnings were pretty good on AMD. We've seen this how many times. I would definitely be this one. I would not want to go short. I would like to go long, but I would like some kind of a pullback first. 61.87 will be my pullback zone. If we could get to that spot, that would be tremendous. But we do have pretty decent high volume on this big red candle. That's breaking. Good volume on this red candle. Really good volume on this candle. We're right at the top of that. So we are trapping some bears. This is one that could open. If it does run, I will also play this one bullish. I just prefer a pullback first, but technically it is a gap and go. And targets on this one will be about 64.09. Again, hopefully we can get a little bit of selling, a little bit of profit taking to some extent, as close as I can get to $62. But I will go long AMD. I will go short on Tesla. NVIDIA is sympathy play from AMD inside day. So if we're going to go bullish on anything, it's going to be AMD over NVIDIA today for the most likely scenario. Apple. Apple has a gap to fill, 144.98. So we'll just call it 145. This is a lot of selling on a wave count basis. We probably are looking at 1, 2, 3, 4. So this could be 5. This gap comes up, retest another big monster candle potentially. Or worst case, I do think this has to be retested at some point. I think this VPOC was never really retested. 144.71. I think we will have to hit that. I just don't know about today. Out of all of them, they do look a little bit more weak than some of the other ones, at least that we looked at. Yeah, no, I mean, that's a lesson learned right there, Kevin. If DJ's on the mic, just don't ever walk away, because no matter what you come back to, it will never sound right. Nope. Greg. Not to my knowledge. It is all access pass, though. It is an all access pass. So I'm not sure if we can't have one, but Amazon, not a good close to that VPOC. I would still say Amazon lower would make sense. Obviously, inside day gap, so we're probably not going to get too much out of the open. Delta. This one has the ability. So this one I would actually be looking very, very closely at a short on. You guys know Delta is not my favorite one to play all the time, but this one I would like to go short after a retest. So if that retest comes in, it will definitely be highly on my list. We did break some type of, so again, kind of similar to what the woodshed play is. I'll draw it out here, even though it's not going to be a straight line, but close enough. So this is our uptrends. This here was our break. This was our retest, this big red candle. And now we are starting to fade. So if I could get some kind of move, retest that, and then we roll, that would not be a bad play. Probably a decent swing as well, but probably actually one of my favorite shorts today so far, if that retest comes in. There's not a lot of, I mean, we have this 33-36 zone at the open. This is the retest of it. So next stop on this one could be 32.60. So if we, especially if we get short as high as possible, that would be a decent play to look for. Airbnb, I think, reported earnings last night. So their earnings were good. I mean, take it for what it is. Their earnings were good. They missed on, the biggest thing they missed on was the amount of, what was it? The amount of bookings. Yep. So the amount of bookings, but they beat on revenue. They beat on earnings per share. So they weren't bad. They weren't bad. Jerome says, DJ, get me going on meta trade on 8-cap. I just need 5 minutes coaching from you in your leisure time. Yeah, Jerome, hit me, shoot me a message. Send it to Dan at reallifetrading.com. I could help you out on meta trade. I'm not sure what the first part of that sentence means. Are you trying to trade meta? Or is like, oh, meta trader, got you. All right, yeah, I'll shoot me an email. We'll meet after I'm off the mic. All right, let's see. We've got, so this one, obviously, let's flip this real quick to a daily. What do we got? 6 more minutes. I don't know, Maloney. I'm trying to buy some more. I am definitely looking to buy some more Airbnb. They're still value too high. They are still value too high. I do own some, but I'm gonna wait. I think the next spot, I could see this thing. Really, I want to get around $60. If I get $6 on Airbnb, you will see me taking out a second mortgage on Hector's house. That's where I would like to get in on that one. But for right now, yeah, it is a retest gap, so you got to expect maybe some profit taking. We're also at a little bit of some kind of support here. Probably not going to be the easiest short out of the gate. I don't really want to go long on it, but yeah, again, the earnings weren't not that bad, all things considering. I mean, you miss on the amount of bookings, but you still crush it in revenue. I think the CEO, I think I saw a YouTube clip. He was on Kramer last night. Kramer. Some people are here to make friends. I'm just here to make you money. Just buy everything my charitable trusts. Yeah, it's down 50%. But when I change my mind every 2 days, I love Kramer though. Airbnb, probably getting shortable. What about the banks? The banks still sitting in the upper third region of the day yesterday. So Still have a little bit of strength coming from JP Morgan, some of the banks. Crypto, I believe Bitcoin is down. This looks like a decent short on Snow. Yep, Snow has a decent short, maybe a little bit of potential support. PayPal. PayPal probably looks like it's going to continue lower as well. Do I think the Qs are going to retest the 200? Yeah, most likely. But again, today will establish. So again, just be careful today. There will be 2 days. Today is the morning is part 1, afternoon is part 2. Also, if you're in a trade, it's working or not working, try to just cut the trade till after the announcement. Like, there's no reason to take that gamble unless you could drop your stops to where you're profitable or something like that. But that's the only way I would play it. I would shave some shares before that meeting. I would not want to be in, if I'm in a working, especially a working trade, before 2 p.m. because it's a whole different day after 2 p.m. The whole market will be different after 2 p.m. So I think a lot of, to answer your question, Jordan, ask me after 2 p.m. because this morning we're still a little on the weaker side, but I'm not even expecting that high of volatility in the morning. I was expecting more just sideways trading, probably with a little bit more bearish hue to it. People don't use that word, I feel like, that much, but bearish hue to it. And I would like to lean a little bit more bearish if we could get some kind of good, like decent setup, decent trade, risk reward. And then I'm also planning on being out of that thing by 2 p.m., regardless of if I'm up or down, and I would just wait it out, see what happens. Let us get the information first and then take the play. A lot of people, and I know gambling is fun. Trust me, I know. But people want to, if the market stock is doing this, they want to be the guy buying here. Why? Because then it goes like this and you're just out of money. Wait for like the bounce to come in. Be the guy that buys it here. You don't have to capture every single second of it, right? It's the same thing when Jerome Powell comes out and they're like, we're about to announce the new rate hike and have our conference and all that. Okay, great. If you could catch it, if you could interpret the information extremely quick and you want to make a quick pop, great. Take the gains if that's the case. But you also don't have to be the person buying it here. The market will make 3 moves today from 2 p.m. on. You're going to get the initial either pop or drop. I'll just call it a pop for now based on the rate hike. That move will come back and it will fade. The third move is usually the correct move, right? So just be careful in that. You're going to get initial reaction. All of the robots, they're going to be scanning the quick report that's coming out. It's going to be a lot quicker than humans can do it. And then you'll get the sentiment kicking in, robots taking profits, people digesting information. And after that information is digested, then you make that third move. So be quick on those early moves if you are going to play it. But if you're already in a trade that you're not planning on holding, then follow that plan, be out by 2, reset a trade, take your profits, stack some wood. It's still November 2nd. But all you guys in YouTube land, unfortunately, we only have about 20 seconds left. I just wrote Gabriel. Thanks, man. And now, serious question: do you see Google dropping to below 90? Yeah, probably to some extent. I still think a lot of, me personally, I think the entire market is still overvalued. So I think in a longer run, I don't know about before this year though, but I do see probably Google, Meta, Baba will come lower. Pretty much everything has to value. You guys are great. On the way out, make sure you guys take your keys from the fishbowl and also hit that little like button and make sure you subscribe if you have not done so already. Otherwise, you guys at YouTube land, you guys are absolutely terrific. We will catch you tomorrow. Stay safe from